Mom, I'm back. He saved me. Tears flow as human soldier reunites alien queen with lost daughter. Dust swirled across the landscape as a distant hum of engines vibrated through the ground. On this remote planet, Captain Marcus Hayes stood on the ridge, scanning the horizon with his tactical visor. His human instincts, sharpened by years of interstellar operations, kept him alert. Though the planet seemed lifeless, he knew danger could appear at any moment. Marcus adjusted the strap of his pack and checked his equipment one more time. Every piece of technology he carried had been carefully chosen for this mission. A small medkit, energy weapons calibrated for alien physiology, a portable communication device, and a multi-purpose tool capable of hacking even the most advanced alien systems. Humans were not naturally the strongest species in the galaxy, but they had ingenuity, and Marcus intended to prove it. He thought about the message he had received earlier that morning. The holographic projection of Queen Lyra, her tall, iridescent figure shimmering with worry, had filled the communication room aboard the human vessel. "Captain Hayes," she had said, her voice calm but trembling slightly. "My daughter, Neera, she has been taken. The warlord Zarnok has her. Please bring her back." Marcus remembered the weight of her plea. He had faced countless enemies, but nothing struck him as deeply as this. He did not just see a mission, he saw a child in danger and a mother desperate to reunite. The stakes were personal, in a way that went beyond duty. Now, standing on the rocky ridge, Marcus felt the chill of the wind against his armor. His team waited a few meters behind him. Lieutenant Sarah Venn, a communications specialist and brilliant strategist, Corporal Elias Grant, the heavy weapons expert with unmatched courage, and Dr. Myra Solis, a xenobiologist who could analyze alien creatures and plants in seconds. They were ready, but even the best teams needed a leader who could think fast and act faster. Marcus turned to them, his voice firm yet calm. "We only have one chance at this," he said. "Zarnok's compound is heavily guarded. We can't go in guns blazing. We'll need stealth, precision, and teamwork. Humans aren't the biggest or the strongest, but we have brains and we know how to adapt. That's our advantage." Elias grinned. "Brains and guts, Captain, that's what makes humans scary." Sarah rolled her eyes but smiled. "Let's just hope your plan works." Marcus ignored the teasing. He already had a mental map of the mission. Their shuttle would land just beyond the eastern ridge. From there, they would navigate through the jagged canyon, avoiding patrol drones and motion sensors. They had to reach the compound undetected. Neera's life depended on it. As they approached the landing site, the shuttle's engines hummed softly, a comforting sound in the otherwise silent wasteland. Marcus felt a familiar rush of adrenaline. This was what he lived for, the chance to test human skill, courage, and intelligence against impossible odds. The shuttle touched down with a light thud, kicking up clouds of red dust. Marcus and his team disembarked, immediately scanning their surroundings. Alien flora dotted the rocky terrain, tall, spindly plants with glowing tips that seemed to react to their movement. Marcus took a deep breath. Even in this strange world, humans had a way of surviving. Adaptability was in their nature. "Keep your eyes open," Marcus instructed. "We don't know what Zarnok is guarding the canyon. Could be patrols, automated turrets, or worse." The team moved in formation, careful but swift. Each step they took sent small pebbles rolling down the canyon walls, and Marcus felt the familiar thrill of tension building. He loved a challenge, and this mission had it in abundance. Hours passed as they navigated the narrow paths. At one point, a sudden screech echoed from above. Marcus raised his hand, signaling a halt. All around them, the alien canyon seemed to hold its breath. "What was that?" Myra whispered, her eyes wide as she scanned the sky. "Probably a native creature," Marcus replied calmly, though his senses were alert. "Stay close, stay silent." The screech returned, closer this time, and a pair of glowing eyes appeared above a jagged cliff. A massive alien predator landed with a heavy thud, its claws digging into the rock. Its teeth glimmered in the fading sunlight, and it growled low, a sound that shook the air around them. Elias stepped forward instinctively, but Marcus stopped him with a firm hand. "No sudden moves. Let's use our heads." Marcus pulled out a small device, a holographic projector that emitted bright light in pulses. The creature recoiled, confused by the sudden glow. Using the moment, the team quietly moved to a safer path, avoiding confrontation. It was a reminder, humans didn't need raw strength to survive. Intelligence and quick thinking were their true weapons. By evening, they reached a high vantage point overlooking Zarnok's territory. In the valley below, a sprawling compound glowed with artificial light, surrounded by walls and guard towers. Drones patrolled the perimeter, moving like clockwork. Marcus studied the layout carefully, noting patterns in their movements. "This is it," he said softly. "This is where Nira is. We get in, we get her out, and we leave, no unnecessary risks." Sarah tapped her wrist console, projecting a 3D hologram of the compound. "There's a weak spot on the east wall. Cameras won't cover it for long intervals. We can use that window." Marcus nodded. "Good. Elias, you'll handle any security measures at the wall. Myra, you and Sarah provide support. I'll get Nira once we're inside. Stick to the plan, stay sharp, and trust each other. We're humans, we can do this." Night fell, and with it came the final stretch of their journey. Using the shadows as cover, the team descended into the valley, moving silently like shadows themselves. Marcus felt his heart beat steadily, not with fear but with focus. Every mission was dangerous, but the thought of saving Nira gave him strength. Humans were not invincible, but their courage could face the impossible. As they approached the east wall, Elias knelt by a control panel. With deft fingers, he bypassed the security lock, careful not to trigger alarms. The gate slid open just enough for them to slip through. Marcus led the team into the compound, every sense alert. Inside, the halls were dimly lit, lined with alien symbols and unfamiliar technology. The smell of metal and ozone hung in the air. Marcus moved quickly, guiding his team toward the central tower where Nira was held. Suddenly, a faint cry echoed through the corridor. Marcus froze, listening carefully. It was small, soft, human-like. "That must be her," Myra whispered. Marcus nodded, determination hardening his features. "Stay close, no mistakes now." As they climbed the tower stairs, their footsteps echoing softly, Marcus reflected on the journey that had brought them here. Humans were far from perfect. They were small, fragile, and often underestimated. But in moments like this, those very traits, resilience, intelligence, and compassion, became their greatest strengths. Finally, they reached a heavy door at the top of the tower. Marcus signaled for the team to stop. He took a deep breath, then pushed the door open. Inside, a small figure sat huddled in a corner. Her eyes widened in shock, then recognition. "Mom," the girl whispered, but Marcus knew this was Nira. He smiled gently, kneeling down. "It's okay, Nira, you're safe now. I'm here to take you home." Tears filled her eyes as she ran to him, trusting a human she had never met before with her life. In that moment, Marcus felt the power of human courage and compassion. Humans might not be the strongest species in the galaxy, but they could be heroes in ways no one expected. Outside the tower, the twin suns were about to rise again. Marcus knew the mission was far from over. The hardest part, getting Nira back safely, still lay ahead. But for now, he allowed himself a small sense of hope. Humans had come to a strange world, faced impossible odds, and found a way to succeed. And this was only the beginning. Marcus held Nira close as the team slipped out of the tower. Her small hands clung to his armor, trembling slightly. "You saved me," she whispered, her voice barely audible. Marcus nodded, keeping his eyes on the darkened corridors ahead. "We're not safe yet, Nira. We need to get out of here first." The team moved cautiously, every step calculated. The compound was alive with activity, guards patrolling, drones scanning the area, and distant alarms that could sound at any moment. Marcus knew that one mistake could endanger not only Nira, but the entire mission. "Let's stick to the plan," Marcus instructed. "Exit through the maintenance tunnels. They're less monitored than the main gates." Sarah projected a small hologram from her wrist console, showing the winding path of narrow, dimly lit tunnels beneath the compound. "If we follow this route, we avoid most patrols. But some sections are unstable. Watch your step." Elias carried a small pack of portable lights. He glanced at Marcus, then at Nira, who was starting to calm down a little. "I've got the rear," he said. "Nothing sneaking up on us." Myra, scanning the walls as they moved, pointed to strange symbols etched into the metallic surface. "These markings, they're like warnings, probably traps or automated defenses." She paused, studying one of the panels. "We need to be careful." "One wrong touch could trigger an alarm," Marcus nodded. "Stay sharp, everyone. Remember, humans aren't naturally the strongest, but we're clever. We'll make it through if we use our heads." The tunnels were narrow and dark, forcing them to move in a single file. Dust hung in the air, and the faint hum of alien machinery vibrated through the metal walls. At one point, Nira whimpered softly. "I'm scared," she admitted. Marcus crouched down beside her. "It's okay to be scared," he said gently. "Everyone gets scared sometimes. But being brave isn't about not feeling fear. It's about keeping going even when you are." She nodded, gripping his hand. "I want to see Mom." "And you will," Marcus replied. "We're going to get you there safely." As they moved deeper into the tunnels, the team encountered the first real challenge. A section of the floor had partially collapsed, revealing a pit filled with sharp, jagged metal spikes. Marcus studied it carefully. "We can't jump this. Too dangerous." "Ilias, help me find a way around." Together, they located a narrow ledge along the wall. One by one, they balanced carefully, moving slowly to avoid falling. Nira followed, guided by Marcus's steady hand. When they all made it across safely, a collective sigh of relief passed through the group. "That was close," Myra said, wiping sweat from her brow. "Humans have a knack for thinking under pressure." Marcus allowed himself a small smile. "We have to, it's how we survive." They continued, reaching a junction where the tunnels split into multiple paths. Sarah quickly analyzed the map projected from her console. "The left path is shorter but more heavily monitored. The right path is longer but safer. I suggest we take the right path," Marcus agreed. "Safety first. Nira comes before speed." As they progressed, the walls began to vibrate. Small, glowing orbs floated down the corridor, scanning for heat signatures. Marcus's pulse quickened. "They're scanning for life signs. Keep calm, move slowly, and stay quiet." The orbs drifted past, sensing their heat but not detecting movement fast enough to trigger alarms. The team exhaled silently as the danger passed. It was a reminder that, while humans might not match alien strength or technology, careful planning and composure could overcome seemingly impossible obstacles. Hours passed as they navigated the twisting tunnels. Nira began to relax a little, asking questions about Marcus and his team. "Are you humans?" she whispered. Marcus nodded. "Yes, we are. Humans travel across the stars and help others, even ones we've never met. That's what we do." She looked thoughtful. "You're different from the soldiers I've seen before. You care." "We do," Marcus said. "Caring doesn't make us weak. It makes us stronger. It gives us reasons to fight." The team finally emerged from the tunnels into a cavern filled with alien flora. Giant bioluminescent plants lit the cavern with a soft blue glow. The air smelled sweet, almost like flowers, and the temperature was much warmer than the tunnels. Marcus paused to take in the scene. Even in hostile worlds, life found a way to thrive. But the danger was far from over. A patrol of armored alien guards approached, their weapons scanning for movement. Marcus signaled for the team to hide behind a cluster of tall plants. The guards passed slowly, their eyes scanning the cavern. Ilias whispered, "They're heavily armed, too strong to take head-on." Marcus nodded. "We won't fight them. Humans survive by being clever, not just strong. Wait until they move on, then we go." After what felt like an eternity, the patrol moved past. The team exhaled quietly, relieved. "Humans are good at timing," Sarah said with a small smile. "Brains over brawn," Marcus replied. "That's how we survive." The next obstacle was a fast-moving river cutting through the cavern. The water was deep and swift, and there was no visible bridge. Marcus studied the scene carefully. "We can't swim across. It's too dangerous for Nira. We need to find another way." Myra pointed to a series of large vines hanging from the cavern ceiling. "We could swing across using those. They're strong enough to hold all of us." Marcus tested one of the vines, tugging it to check its strength. "It'll work. Ilias, you go first. Make sure it's safe for Nira." One by one, they swung across the river, Marcus steadying Nira as she crossed. It was risky, but the human team's careful planning and teamwork ensured everyone made it safely. Finally, after hours of navigating tunnels, caves, and rivers, they reached the edge of the alien forest surrounding the compound. The forest was dense, filled with massive trees and alien creatures. Some creatures watched silently from the shadows, curious but not aggressive. Marcus knew this was the last natural barrier before they reached open terrain. "Almost there," he said, glancing at Nira. "Just a little farther and we'll be in open ground. Then we can plan the next stage of the escape." As they moved cautiously through the forest, the team encountered signs of recent activity, footprints, broken branches, and remnants of alien technology. Marcus studied each detail carefully. "Zarnok's patrols are getting closer. We need to speed up but stay quiet." They navigated the forest for several more hours. Marcus leading the way with a combination of instinct and careful observation. Every rustle of leaves or snap of a twig could signal danger, but the team remained focused, relying on their training and trust in each other. Finally, they reached the edge of the forest, overlooking a wide open plain leading to the outer walls of the warlord's territory. Marcus took a deep breath. The hardest part was behind them, but the final stretch, getting Nira to safety, was just beginning. He crouched beside Nira, smiling reassuringly. "You've been very brave, Nira, almost home now." She nodded, exhaustion and relief mixed in her eyes. "I want to see Mom," she whispered. "And you will," Marcus said firmly. "Humans don't give up. We keep going no matter how hard it gets. That's how we survive. That's how we save each other." The team prepared for the final leg of their journey, knowing that challenges still awaited, but Marcus felt a surge of confidence. They had navigated treacherous terrain, evaded patrols, and protected a child in danger. Humans were not the largest or strongest species in the galaxy, but their courage, intelligence, and teamwork had brought them this far. As the twin suns began to rise again, casting long shadows across the plains, Marcus led the team forward. Each step was careful, measured, but filled with determination. Humans might face the impossible, but they never backed down. And with Nira safe in his care, Marcus knew that nothing, not even the most advanced alien warlord, could stop them from completing their mission. The sun had fully risen over the Vyrlia plains, painting the landscape in soft shades of orange and gold. Marcus Hayes led the team carefully through the open terrain, keeping Nira close. The child's small hand held his tightly, and though she was exhausted from the long journey, her trust in him gave Marcus renewed energy. Every step forward was filled with the tension of potential danger. They were close to Zarnok's compound, but Marcus knew that the path ahead would require more than stealth and courage. It would require allies. "Marcus," Sarah said, her eyes scanning the horizon. "I'm picking up movement in the canyon ahead, not Zarnok's patrols, something else." Marcus crouched low and studied the area. Shadows shifted among the rocks. Soon, small figures emerged from the canyon, moving carefully. They were aliens, smaller than the warlord's soldiers and lightly armed. The group's cautious movements suggested intelligence, not aggression. "Could be rebels," Marcus whispered. "Friendly aliens, maybe. We need to find out before they see us." He raised a hand, signaling his team to halt. Myra adjusted her scanner and pointed to a hidden path leading closer to the canyon's mouth. "If we approach slowly, we can communicate without alarming them." The team moved forward with care. As they got closer, one of the aliens stepped forward, holding a small device that emitted a soft glow. Its face was expressive, eyes wide but not hostile. It spoke in a rapid alien language, and Marcus raised his hand in a universal gesture of peace. "We mean no harm," Marcus said slowly, hoping his voice conveyed calm and authority. The alien tilted its head, seemingly curious, before signaling for the others to hold back. Sarah activated her translator device, converting the alien language into simple English. "We know Zarnok has taken a child. We need to get her back and leave safely. Will you help us?" The alien leader studied Marcus for a long moment. Then, to Marcus's relief, it nodded. "We do not trust humans, but your courage shows honesty. We will help for the child." Marcus smiled. "That's all I ask." The rebel aliens introduced themselves as the Calirians, a species that had long suffered under Zarnok's control. Their small numbers made them vulnerable, but they knew the terrain, the patrol patterns, and hidden paths through the plains. Marcus realized that these aliens' knowledge combined with human ingenuity could be the key to succeeding in this mission. "All right," Marcus said to his team. "We form an alliance. Humans plan, aliens guide. We all get Nira home safely." The Calirians led the group through narrow rock passages, avoiding patrols and drone scans. As they traveled, Marcus observed their culture. Strange symbols etched into stones, small glowing plants used for light, and silent rituals performed before each movement. Though different from humans, the aliens exhibited intelligence, discipline, and care for their people. Humans survive by adapting, Marcus thought. We can learn from others and teach them at the same time. Hours passed, and the group finally reached a hidden vantage point overlooking Zarnok's outer walls. From this point, they could see the layout of the compound. Towers bristling with weapons, patrols moving like clockwork, and drones hovering above. Marcus studied the scene carefully. "Zarnok has tightened security since we were inside," Sarah whispered. Any mistake now and we could be trapped. Marcus nodded. We won't make mistakes. Humans survive by staying calm, thinking ahead, and trusting each other. That's what we'll do. The Calirians offered to disable some of the perimeter defenses while Marcus and his team infiltrated the inner compound. We cannot fight Zarnok's forces head-on, Marcus said, but we can outsmart them. Myra studied a map of the compound on her wrist device. There's a maintenance hatch on the east side. It's rarely used, and the Calirians say the guards rarely check it. That's our entry point. Marcus nodded. Good, we'll move at night. Humans are clever in darkness. We see patterns, notice details, and adapt quickly. That's our advantage. Night fell, and the team prepared for the infiltration. Near arrested, exhausted, but trusting. Marcus felt a sense of responsibility heavier than any mission he had ever undertaken. Humans were not the strongest, but they had courage, empathy, and the ability to inspire loyalty, even from species they had never met. The Calirians led the way, disabling a series of traps and cameras along the compound's walls. Marcus followed closely, ensuring his team stayed quiet and coordinated. Every step required focus, every breath was measured. When they reached the maintenance hatch, Elias quickly examined it. Old system, he said, but sturdy, should hold us all. Marcus nodded. Let's move. Humans are precise when we need to be. One by one, they slipped through the hatch and entered the compound's inner corridors. The air was heavy with the scent of metal and technology. Marcus led the team carefully, keeping Nira close. Suddenly, they heard footsteps approaching. Marcus signaled for everyone to freeze. The patrol was fast, trained, and heavily armed. Elias held his breath, gripping his weapon. Myra pressed herself against the wall, scanning for an escape route. Marcus took a deep breath. We don't fight, he whispered. We outsmart. He noticed a small maintenance ladder leading to an overhead ventilation shaft. Follow me, he said. Humans find solutions where others see none. They climbed into the shaft silently, the patrol passing beneath without noticing. The team moved through the vents, navigating twists and turns. Marcus's mind raced, calculating the fastest path to the central tower where Nira had been held. Finally, they emerged near the tower's base. The Calirians had disabled the nearest security cameras, giving them a clear path. Marcus glanced at the alien allies. Your help has been invaluable. Humans survive by trusting and working with others. Today proves it again. The Calirians nodded, showing respect in their own way. For Marcus, this alliance was proof that humans could inspire trust, loyalty, and cooperation across species. Even in a galaxy full of unknown dangers, courage, empathy, and intelligence could create bonds strong enough to achieve the impossible. The team ascended the tower stairs cautiously. At the top, Marcus saw the room where Nira had been held, empty now, but with signs that she had been moved. The alien warlord's forces were unpredictable, but humans thrived in uncertainty. Marcus studied the layout and planned their next move. We're close, he said. We need to anticipate Zarnok's next steps. Humans survive by thinking ahead, adapting, and staying calm under pressure. That's exactly what we'll do. Suddenly, a low hum filled the corridor. Drones appeared, scanning for movement. Marcus whispered commands, coordinating the team with precision. Elias disabled a drone with a simple EMP device, while Myra guided Nira through a side corridor. Sarah kept communication open, tracking patrol movements. Marcus smiled quietly. Humans were not invincible, but they could face overwhelming odds with calm and intelligence. Each member of the team relied on their strengths, and together they became unstoppable. Hours passed as they moved deeper into the compound. Every corridor, every door, and every sensor became a challenge. Yet Marcus and his team pressed on, relying on human ingenuity and the knowledge shared by their Calirian allies. Finally, they reached a hidden room where Zarnok's forces stored prisoners. The team paused. Marcus studied the door's locking mechanism, a complex system designed to be foolproof. He knelt, examining the panels carefully. Humans survive by problem-solving, he murmured. We can crack this. Using a combination of logic, intuition, and experience, Marcus manipulated the system. Lights flashed, then clicked, and the door slid open. Inside, they found several prisoners, including Nira, who ran to Marcus with tears of relief. You came back, she whispered. You saved me. Marcus held her gently. We're not done yet. Humans keep going until the job is finished, and this job isn't finished until you're safe with your mother. The team quickly organized the prisoners for evacuation. The Calirians guided them through hidden tunnels leading to the forest outside the compound. Patrols moved blindly above, unaware that their carefully hidden prisoners were escaping. As the first rays of dawn touched the horizon, Marcus led the group to a safe clearing. Nera ran into the arms of one of the Calirians who had helped them, smiling. "Thank you," she said, realizing that courage, intelligence, and cooperation could overcome even the greatest threats. Marcus watched, proud. Humans were not always the strongest, but they could inspire trust, loyalty, and hope, even across species. And in the galaxy, that was more powerful than any weapon. As they prepared for the journey back to Queen Lyra, Marcus knew that the alliance they had forged would last. Humans had shown that courage, intelligence, and compassion could achieve the impossible, even in a galaxy filled with danger and uncertainty. The mission was far from over, but Marcus felt a surge of confidence. With Nera safe and their Calirian allies at their side, humans had once again proven that they could face overwhelming odds and succeed. And this success was only the beginning of a story that would echo across the stars. The forest edge shimmered in the first light of dawn, painting the trees with gold and silver hues. Marcus Hayes led the group cautiously, keeping Nera close. She walked beside him now, a mixture of relief and exhaustion etched on her small face. For Marcus, every step forward was filled with tension. The mission was not over. They still had to escape the warlord's territory and ensure Nera's safety. "We move fast now," Marcus whispered to the team. "Zarnok will realize she's gone soon. We need to be ready for pursuit." Sarah projected a holographic map from her wrist console. "There's a ridge about 2 kilometers ahead. If we reach it, we'll have cover and a clear path to the extraction point. But patrols are increasing. Sensors are picking up movement in the valley below." Marcus nodded. "Stay close. Humans survive by keeping calm and thinking ahead. Let's use the terrain to our advantage." The Calirians moved silently alongside them, guiding the team through hidden paths and dense underbrush. Their knowledge of the terrain was invaluable, but Marcus knew that human leadership and quick decision-making would be the key to completing the mission. Suddenly, a faint noise reached their ears, a rhythmic sound of footsteps, heavier than the patrols they had faced before. Marcus raised a hand, signaling the team to halt. From the valley below, Zarnok's elite guards appeared, moving with precision, scanning for signs of intruders. "Too many to fight head-on," Marcus muttered. "We need a diversion." Elias grinned, already preparing a small smoke device. "Humans are good at thinking fast under pressure," he said. "Let's create some chaos." Marcus nodded. "Exactly, smoke in 3, 2, 1. The device erupted, filling the valley with thick, rolling smoke. Zarnok's guards stumbled, coughing and confused. Using the distraction, Marcus led the team along a hidden path up the ridge. Every movement was precise, every step calculated. Humans were not the strongest, but their brains, coordination, and courage allowed them to turn the tide against overwhelming odds. At the top of the ridge, Marcus paused to catch his breath. From this vantage point, they could see the extraction point, a small landing pad where the shuttle waited. The sun reflected off its metallic surface, gleaming like a beacon of hope. "We're close," Marcus whispered to Nera. "Almost there. Humans never give up. We survive because we keep going even when things are hard." Nera smiled faintly. "I'm not scared anymore," she said, gripping his hand. The team began their descent toward the landing pad. But as they approached the open plain, a loud roar echoed across the terrain. Marcus froze, scanning the area. A massive war machine appeared, its metallic frame glinting in the sunlight, weapons aimed directly at them. Zarnok had anticipated their escape. "Stay calm," Marcus instructed. "Humans survive by staying smart, move in formation, and use cover." Elias took the lead, deploying small energy shields to block incoming fire. Myra scanned for weak points in the machine, her knowledge of alien technology proving invaluable. Marcus guided Nera, shielding her from the chaos around them. The war machine fired again, sending bolts of energy toward the team. Marcus ducked behind a rock, calculating his next move. "We can't fight it directly. We need to outsmart it. Myra, can you disable it?" Myra nodded quickly, adjusting her tools. "There's a panel on the back. If we can reach it, we can shut it down." Marcus gave a quick nod to Elias. "Cover her. Humans survive by teamwork." Elias fired precision shots at the machine, drawing its attention while Myra moved swiftly toward the panel. Sparks flew, alarms blared, but within moments Myra activated her device. The machine shuddered, then powered down, its weapons silenced. "Good work," Marcus said, relief washing over him. "Humans survive by being clever and staying focused." They continued across the open plain, every sense alert. Zarnok's guards were regrouping, but the team moved with speed and precision. The shuttle came into view, its engines ready. Marcus signaled for the Calirians to provide cover while the team reached the boarding ramp. Neera ran ahead, her small legs carrying her toward safety. Marcus caught up and lifted her into the shuttle. "You're safe now," he whispered. "Humans survive because we protect each other no matter what." Elias and Myra followed, the Calirians covering their rear. Just as they boarded, a final group of guards appeared, weapons raised. Marcus glanced at the shuttle controls. The engines were active, ready to launch. "Go!" he shouted. The shuttle lifted off the ground just as the guards fired. Energy blasts struck the landing pad, sending sparks flying. The shuttle rose into the sky, leaving the warlord's territory behind. Marcus held Neera close, feeling her small heartbeat against his chest. "We did it," she whispered, tears of relief in her eyes. "Yes," Marcus said, smiling down at her. "Humans survive because we never give up. Courage, intelligence, and teamwork, that's how we win." The shuttle flew over the plains, leaving the danger far below. Outside the window, Marcus could see the Calirians waving from the ridge, silently celebrating the success of their alliance. Humans had not only saved a child, they had inspired trust and loyalty in an entirely different species. Sarah tapped her console, checking their route. "We're clear for the next jump. Queen Lyra's ship is waiting in orbit." Marcus nodded. "Good, let's get Neera home." Humans survive because we keep going, and that's exactly what we're going to do. As the shuttle reached orbit, Marcus looked down at the planet below. It had been a world of danger and uncertainty, yet humans had prevailed. They had faced impossible odds, navigated treacherous terrain, outsmarted a warlord, and protected a child. And through it all, human courage, intelligence, and empathy had made the difference. Neera leaned against him, exhausted but safe. "I want to see Mom," she whispered again. "And you will," Marcus promised. "Humans survive by keeping hope alive. We protect each other and we never give up. That's what makes us strong." The shuttle docked with Queen Lyra's ship, and Marcus led the team, carrying Neera into the bright interior. The Queen waited anxiously, her glowing eyes scanning for her daughter. As Neera ran into her mother's arms, the reunion was filled with tears and joy. "Mom, I'm back. He saved me," Neera cried, looking at Marcus with gratitude and admiration. Queen Lyra held her daughter tightly, her voice trembling. Thank you, Marcus. Humans, you have shown courage beyond measure." Marcus bowed slightly, feeling the weight of the mission's success. "It's what humans do," he said softly. "We survive, we protect. And we keep going, no matter what." The reunion was not only emotional, it was a testament to the power of human determination. Humans were not the largest, strongest, or most technologically advanced species in the galaxy. But their intelligence, courage, and compassion could change the course of events and inspire trust across worlds. As the Queen embraced her daughter, Marcus looked out the window at the vast galaxy beyond. More challenges awaited, more worlds in need, and more lives to protect. But in that moment, he knew one truth. Humans could face any danger, overcome any obstacle, and rise to the occasion. And with that, Marcus Hayes and his team prepared for their next mission, confident in the enduring power of humanity. The grand chamber of Queen Lyra's palace glowed with soft, iridescent light. Walls shimmered like flowing water, reflecting the colors of the twin suns outside. Servants and advisors moved quietly, preparing for the moment that had been awaited for weeks. The return of Neera, the Queen's lost daughter. Marcus Hayes stepped carefully into the chamber, holding Neera's small hand. Her wide eyes reflected awe at the grandeur around her, but also relief. She no longer feared the dangers of the galaxy. She had seen courage and compassion in human form, and it had saved her life. Queen Lyra stood at the far end of the hall, her tall form gleaming with the soft glow of her bioluminescent skin. When she saw Neera, she froze for a moment, her eyes filling with tears. Slowly, she stepped forward, extending her arms. "Neera," she whispered, her voice trembling. The girl ran, small feet carrying her across the polished floor. "Mom," she cried, "I'm back, he saved me." She flung herself into her mother's embrace, wrapping her arms tightly around Lyra. Tears streamed down the queen's face as she held her daughter close, relief overwhelming every other emotion. Marcus stood quietly nearby, watching the reunion. He felt a warm sense of satisfaction, but also a deep respect for the bond between mother and child. Humans might not have the physical strength or long lifespans of some alien species, but their courage, intelligence, and empathy could make miracles happen. Queen Lyra turned toward Marcus, her eyes shining. "Captain Hayes," she said softly, "words cannot express my gratitude. You and your people, you have proven that humanity's courage and heart are greater than any weapon." Marcus bowed slightly. "It's what humans do, Your Majesty. We survive, we protect, and we never give up. Today was no different." The room was quiet for a moment, filled only with the soft sound of Neera's sobs and Lyra's whispers of comfort. Then, advisors and servants began to gather around, witnessing the power of human courage firsthand. Sarah stepped forward, giving Marcus a reassuring nod. Elias stood nearby, scanning the palace for any remaining threats, though Marcus knew that for now the danger had passed. Myra knelt beside Neera, offering a comforting smile. Together, the team represented the best of humanity: courage, intelligence, and compassion. Queen Lyra finally straightened, holding Neera's hand. "This day will be remembered," she said, "not just for the safe return of my daughter, but for the proof that humans, though small and fragile, can achieve the impossible." Marcus felt a quiet pride. Humans were not the strongest, nor the most advanced, but their determination and willingness to act selflessly had saved countless lives today. And in doing so, they had earned the trust and admiration of a proud alien queen. Neera looked up at Marcus, her small eyes shining. "Will you come with us?" she asked softly. Marcus smiled gently. "I'll always be there when you need help, Neera. Humans protect and we don't give up on those in need." The queen nodded. "Captain Hayes, please allow my people to honor you properly. Your actions today will be celebrated throughout our worlds. The alliance between our species is stronger because of you." Marcus shook his head slightly, feeling uncomfortable with the praise. "I didn't do this for recognition. I did it because it was the right thing to do." "Humans act because we care, not because we seek glory." Lyra's eyes softened. "And that is why you are a hero, not because of strength or power, but because of courage, intelligence, and heart. These qualities are rare in the galaxy." The palace began preparations for a small celebration. Delegates from nearby allied systems arrived to witness the reunion and honor Marcus and his team. The ceremony was filled with music, light displays, and gestures of respect, but the true joy was found in Neera's laughter as she ran between her mother and her rescuers. Marcus observed quietly, allowing himself a rare moment of reflection. He thought about the journey that had brought them here, the dangerous planet, the treacherous tunnels, the deadly patrols, and the clever maneuvers that had allowed them to succeed. Humans survived because of intelligence, courage, and empathy. And today, those qualities had saved a life. Later, in a quieter part of the palace, Lyra spoke privately with Marcus. "Your species, you are remarkable. I have seen strength, strategy, and compassion all in one. You remind me that even in the darkest times, hope can shine." Marcus nodded. "Humans face danger every day, Your Majesty. We adapt, we think, and we act. But hope is what keeps us going. Without it, courage means nothing." Lyra smiled, a mixture of admiration and gratitude in her expression. "You have taught me something valuable today. Perhaps we can build a future together, humans and Calirians, sharing knowledge, courage, and hope." Marcus felt a surge of pride. Humans had not only saved Neera, but they had inspired trust and opened the door for alliances that could benefit entire civilizations. Their resilience, intelligence, and empathy had bridged worlds. As the evening settled, the palace quieted. Neera slept in her mother's arms, finally safe. Marcus and his team prepared for departure, knowing that their mission was complete but that the galaxy remained full of challenges. Humans would continue to face them, not with brute strength, but with courage, intelligence, and compassion, the qualities that had proven unbeatable time and again. Outside, the twin suns dipped below the horizon, casting long shadows across the palace grounds. Marcus looked out at the stars, feeling the weight and satisfaction of the journey. Humans had come to an alien world, faced impossible odds, and succeeded. And through it all, they had shown the galaxy the true power of humanity, the ability to act with courage, protect those in need, and never give up hope. Back in the Grand Hall, Queen Lyra addressed her people. Today, we celebrate not only the return of Nera, but also the extraordinary courage of humans. Let their actions be remembered as a light in the darkness, a proof that intelligence, bravery, and heart can overcome any threat. The Calirians and other alien allies cheered, their voices echoing through the palace. Marcus and his team stood quietly, knowing that recognition was not their goal, yet feeling a deep sense of fulfillment. Humans had succeeded because of who they were, not because of weapons or technology, but because of their character. Later, as the night deepened, Marcus spoke with his team in a quiet corridor. "We did what humans always do," he said. "We faced danger, stayed calm, relied on our intelligence, and protected those who needed it. That's why we survive." Elias clapped him on the shoulder. "And that's why people will talk about this for generations," Sarah smiled. "Humans don't just survive, they inspire." "That's what makes us special," Myra nodded, glancing at Nera sleeping peacefully. "We've shown that hope, courage, and teamwork can overcome any obstacle. That's what being human is all about." Marcus looked at the stars outside the window and thought about the future. More challenges awaited in the galaxy, more lives in need of protection, more conflicts to navigate. But humans would face them, not with arrogance, but with intelligence, courage, and heart. That was their strength. That was what made them extraordinary. And for Nera and Queen Lyra, humanity had proven itself a force for good, a species capable of miracles through bravery, compassion, and unwavering hope. As the palace quieted for the night, Marcus Hayes allowed himself a rare moment of rest. Humans had faced the impossible, saved a child, and reunited a mother with her daughter. They had proven that courage, intelligence, and empathy were stronger than any weapon, and that hope could shine even in the darkest corners of the galaxy. The twin suns rose again, signaling a new day, a new hope. And Marcus knew, deep in his heart, that humans would continue to rise to any challenge. Not because they were the strongest, but because they were brave, clever, and unyielding in the face of danger. Queen Lyra held Nera tightly, tears still on her cheeks, and looked at Marcus one last time. "You have given me my daughter," she said softly, "and with that you have given us hope." Marcus smiled. "That's what humans do, Your Majesty. We protect, we endure, and we never give up." And with that, the galaxy seemed a little brighter, a little safer, and full of the quiet promise that human courage and compassion could light the way even in the darkest times.